At Intelivideo, we aren't just a technology company. Our end-to-end solution creates a robust digital subscription offering. Come be part of a platform that is helping lead the hybridization efforts for some of the country's best fitness operators.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another special edition of our Leadership Circle interview. Today we're joined with Keith Lansdale, the Vice President for Sales at Intelivideo. Keith has been in the industry now for over 30 years. He has been there, he has done it, he has got multiple t-shirts. And so looking forward to this conversation. Keith, thank you very much for joining us here. Maybe for those that don't know you, a quick introduction to who you are and your new role at Intelivideo.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Ross. Well, I began my career really right out of high school at a local bodybuilding gym here in the U.S. It was a classic story of falling in love with working out. Before I knew it, I was trading out membership. Have you ever heard this story before? Working at the gym and then eventually getting paid to work. Once I started getting my paycheck, I was like, oh my gosh, I've made it. You know, I can't believe they pay me to actually do this job. Very long story short, that job kind of led me to work at Gold's Gym while I was going to college. And I was without a doubt the stereotypical meathead wannabe bodybuilder. It was perfect for the heyday of Gold's Gyms in the 90s. I spent 10 years there. I did everything from clean toilets to sell memberships, personal training, eventually management. Again, it's funny because I think a lot of people have the same story. But this is kind of where it took a turn. I know God had a plan for me for sure, because when I was pursuing my exercise science degree, many doors opened up for me through the years. Eventually, I landed a position as a national educator for Apex Fitness, which had recently been purchased by 24 Hour Fitness. There, I was able to work with one of my heroes in the industry, Neil Spruce. Man, that man's forgotten more about fitness and nutrition than most of us will ever know. My passion grew immeasurably during this time, and I met some just awesome people. And case in point, I met my wife in this industry. She was actually a club manager, eventually became an owner of that club that she worked at, that I met her at. And my joke is the life always points back to club life. Whatever is going on, it always points back there. We dated long distance for a couple of years. I eventually moved out to the West Coast of the US. And then I actually worked at the club there for a couple of years. And I found out after 2 years, I'm like, I'm ready to get back on the business side of things. And I actually started working with another hero of mine, Kelly Card. Kelly was actually a executive with ABC Financial at the time, now Fitness Solutions. She's just started a company called Club Apps, and we were a white label custom mobile app company, really geared exclusively to health clubs. I accepted an offer to work with her and grow the Club App platform. We quickly grew this into the largest mobile app distributor in this space, and we garnered a lot of attention from people wanting to acquire us, and we were eventually acquired by NetPulse. And when I tell you it was a ride, my friend, it was a ride. It was amazing. But as all things happen, things go up, things go down. It kind of took a negative turn, and Kelly went back to ABC. And eventually, shortly there after she left, I got offered a job as the West Coast sales manager for ABC, and took that role for about a year. And then they came to me with another role that I said, hey, we think you'd be perfect for this. And it was the VP of Client Success for the Planet Fitness team and the account itself. And wow, to say that I was breathing in purple for the last 4 years is an understatement. It was an absolute adventure to work with the Planet team along with the ABC team. And I absolutely love that job. And then a couple of months ago, Adam, our CEO, came knocking on the door and said, hey, I've got this job. I'm looking for somebody for VP of sales at Intelivideo. And at first I was like, I don't really know. The more he talked, the more I was like, wow, it's pretty interesting, because it so reminded me of our Club Apps and NetPulse days. And after several conversations, I decided to take the role, and have really been diligently working to build the team and structure to deliver the video on demand for this space. My goal is to educate club owners and managers and staff of the importance of this technology, because it is relatively new. People don't really know what to do with it yet. And that's where I feel like the big upside is, because there's so much that you can do with this platform. And it really is a complement to the brick and mortar. There was this big misunderstanding out there that, well, this is going to take the place of it. Absolutely is not. So we're excited. We've got a huge opportunity, especially with the challenges that we currently have with COVID. And I'm happy to be here.
Now, you've been with fitness for decades and technology now for decades as well. But as you mentioned, this video on demand, the digital aspect of fitness has only just come to fruition in the last couple of years. Intelivideo are one of the companies that have enjoyed a roller coaster ride, a skyrocket adventure up into the heavens as this market has grown. And so congratulations to Adam, you and the team, Keith. Let's dig into the statistics. 2020, of course, was a year where digital fitness exploded. It came alive. There was perhaps a plateau in 2021 as clubs reopened, but of course, demand again has increased. When you look at the statistics from 2021, what are you seeing at the moment from a club perspective? Is it still a boom marketplace for digital fitness?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's another misconception out there that this was just a passing fad. That is not the case. We have so much data now. We're almost 19 months into this. So we've had enough time to gather data to see what is the consumer saying. There's actually a recent report that came out from ABC and URSA. It was called The Next Fitness Consumer. If you haven't had a chance to look at that, you want to take a look, because there's some really good intel in there. One of the things that came out of that is 66% of consumers are active, regardless of their approach. So that's huge. That tells us our market is actually growing. Now, the challenge about that is there's a hesitation from the consumers now with COVID creeping back in, depending on where you are in the world. You know, you've got some clubs that aren't even open yet. You've got other clubs that are open, like here in the States, but people are still hesitant because they don't know. You've got gym mask mandates coming in. You've got health concerns, cleanliness. People are now relying on digital more than ever. We've got many clubs that are really embracing this omni-channel approach because what they want to do is have as many touch points to their brick and mortar as possible. Because one thing that we've known that URSA's been saying this for years, the more touches you can have with the customer, the more sticky they're going to be in the club. And the way we try to solve for this is, hey, get people coming in the club more. That's hard. That's very difficult to do. But with the omni-channel approach, we can actually do it on their terms. Another thing that we came out of that, we've got some great information. 72% of gyms are now offering some type of on-demand or live stream group workouts. Now, that's a big increase, because in 2019 it was 25%. Yes, the majority of that was driven by COVID, but what we're seeing, even though there's people that was driven by COVID, people are still utilizing it after the club opens back up. Not so much on the live stream, but definitely on the on-demand side. In looking at our personal data within our company, we've had a lot of great data that we've been able to pull out. And we see a 20% increase in lifetime value of memberships for people that have actually included a digital model into their platform, which we've been trying to do this forever, how we can increase these lifetime value of members. Another thing that we saw is that clubs that reopen with members who attend the club, we're seeing about 3 to 4 touches per month of people embracing this hybrid model. Again, there's exactly what URSA has been telling us for years. Get people touching the club more. This is just the new version of how we get them to do that.
Now, the data's there. It's showing that it's standing true, it's standing the test of time. And as people invest more and more into omni-channel fitness and wellness, Keith, no doubt they're seeing the benefit, but of course it's trial by experimentation sometimes. Maybe what people don't understand is what content is working, what formats are working, how do they price that offering into their existing business plans. What are your thoughts in terms of what are you seeing that's actually working? What content's working, what pricing's working, what strategies are working? What ideas could you and feedback could you give to operators?
Yeah, great question. Again, this is where our years of experience, not just during COVID. Keep in mind, we didn't come about because of COVID. We've been around for years before that, but we've been able to see a lot of what the industry is doing and how they're embracing it. So one of the things that we're seeing working more and more is price bundling, including digital into the higher tier memberships. And we can talk more about that later, but that's a big one. As far as strategies, operators seeing their digital presence as, well, I'm going to steal this from Adam. He says a cost of goods versus rather than a cost. This is a norm of business now. It's not either or. I mean, this is part of it. And the beauty about when you price this correctly, you're making money with it. You're not just covering your cost, you're actually making money with it. As far as content, this is one of the beauties of having digital is rather than just thinking in this box of workouts and things like that, there's so much opportunity here. You can talk about nutrition, wellness coaching, meditation, really to incorporate a holistic approach to complement the in club. And that's incredibly important. And this is where listening to someone that has done it before will help you versus trying to create it. And that's where I see the biggest challenge. People are trying to create their own and do their, basically recreate the wheel. There's no reason to do that when you already have people that have done it. Another thing that we see, do some type of complimentary offering, basic self-guided home on the go workouts. This is something that would definitely help build your platform. Don't charge for everything. And we're seeing more and more people doing that, which is, people are doing this. If you look around any club, people are already doing this on their phone. We just want them using the local club. We don't necessarily want them going to Peloton to get this information. We want them to coming to the club themselves because they're the deliverer of that information.
Now, you touched on this before, Keith, the idea that, yes, you can get eyeballs on your product. You can have another touch point with your club. Some people are charging no money for that. It's more of an engagement tool. For those people that are really trying to monetize a hybrid offering, what are your tips around how they can really commercialize that? How do you build something out that you don't mind putting a price tag on and holding yourself against it?
Yep, I love the question. Yeah, we're seeing, as I said, top tier memberships being added in there, and some people are choosing not to charge for that as more of a value add. I'll give you a recent example. One of our larger customers, they added it onto their top tier membership, and they had an increase of memberships of 20+%. And the only thing that changed is they added video on demand. That was it. So there was a value add. It was just something to push people to that next tier higher model. Now, we had another customer, and this is an edge case, but I want to point it out because there's something to be learned here. We had a customer that added high quality video offerings to their membership. They charged an additional $50 for a 36 test club throughout the US. They increased their participation in that top tier membership 60% out of those 36 clubs. Those are insane numbers. Now, granted, that was very high quality, and that's the one thing I will tell you, the better the quality of the video, the more you can charge for it. I'm not saying that the average club can do that, but let's just say the average club could get $10 a month extra for charging some good quality video. That's a big differentiator. Another option, especially relevant during these times with increased freezes and cancellations, is giving video on demand as an alternative to freezing and canceling a membership. Maybe you say, hey, let's lower your membership to $4.99, $9.99, whatever the magic number is, and let's keep you engaged with our video on demand platform. That just gives another option other than just stopping completely. And one other quick option is offering the try before you buy. A great example of that is a HIIT class. How many people would like to try a HIIT class, but they're just intimidated? They're intimidated to walk in. They don't think they can do it. They might be nervous about taking it. They might be not familiar with how the class works or the coaches. This is a great way to introduce them. Hey, here's a brand new class. And the great thing about it, you can track all this information with data.
Let's look at maybe your experience with talking with operators through these challenges, Keith. Now, as you mentioned, Intelivideo have been around for close to a decade, I believe now. In the past couple of years, you've experienced some incredible growth, but you've always had conversations with operators. Looking back at 2020 and perhaps now in 2021, the last 6 months, how have operators changed their dialogue with you? I mean, your wife, as you mentioned, and congratulations on such a long and happy marriage. Your wife is an operator herself. What kind of questions is your wife and your other operators coming to you and saying, hey, Keith, like we've done this part, but now we're on to this new challenge. How are these challenges evolving?
Yep. Again, you know, I like that question so much, and here's why. Because we're hearing the same thing over and over again. And well, the first one is, when do I have time to implement this? I mean, whether you're my wife with one club or you've got 15 clubs, everybody's only got a certain amount of bandwidth. So you've got to figure out, and it gets overwhelming. Well, so I've got to do all these videos. I'm going to have a week of videos and all these other crazy things. It's not. Honestly, what it is working with somebody like, for example, Intelivideo, where we've got the cookie cutter approach. We can tell you exactly what works, exactly what doesn't work. And we will walk you through this. It's not nearly as much time as you think it would be to start this platform. Another common question is, what equipment do I need? Can I use my cell phone? Well, yes, you can use your cell phone. However, the quality is not going to be there. One of the things that we need to discuss would be, are you trying to be the next Peloton? Because if you're trying to be the next Peloton, guess what? Your cost of equipment is going to be totally different than a mom and pop down the road. Generally, what we find is most people are falling somewhere in the middle. And that's what we do. A nice camera, a mic. I mean, you know, as far as US, probably $1,000, you can get started with a good quality setup that'll get you moving. And if that intimidates you, you go, I can't afford that. Listen, we'll start you where we started you, where it works for you. Another common question is, how do I monetize for the long term? And that's the big one. I would have to unfortunately answer a question with the question is, what is your goal? What are you trying to do? Is this just a value add that you're adding to your current membership? Are you trying to grow your online platform? That determines how we're going to monetize that. And then content strategy. Above all else, it has to be about good content. I mean, when we go into Netflix, I mean, the Netflix experience is about content. And we have to work with you to build that content based off what are you known for? What are you good at? Every club is good at something. And a lot of them are good at multiple things. So let's exploit that. That would be your content. And then another one, which this is a more recent one, is, you know, how do we get the team on board? Because honestly, that's part of it. With this hybrid strategy, a lot of people are intimidated by this and they go, well, this is going to take people away from us. No, it actually complements what you're doing. So our team wants to work with everybody on the team to ensure that we have buy-in from everybody, because without buy-in, this is like anything else. You've got to get the buy-in from the team so they get the big picture that this is a growth strategy for the club.
Now, you touched on equipment, you touched on people. When an operator comes to you and says, hey, Keith, where do we invest our dollars? If we want maximum return, where do we end up putting those dollars? Is it in more equipment? Is it in understanding how they can build the platform? Perhaps it's an allocation of an individual human resource in to manage that part of the business. Where is good investments currently to be held?
Yeah, so definitely with the people, you know, the big one and what we're talking about is the digital presence. I mean, I'm looking here. I just picked my phone up real quick. I mean, this right here, if you don't have a presence here, you're losing the game, period. And this isn't going anywhere. So having a digital presence is huge. Another one, tools that you might look at, digital or otherwise, that drive member engagement and brand affinity. I mean, whatever is going to help you drive that engagement, because really that's what we're talking about. Unfortunately, with COVID, there are less clubs out there than they were 18, 19 months ago. People are looking for places to go. What is your differentiating factor? Why are they going to pick you? And that's what we need to do. And not only are they going to pick you, but stay with you. And that's why member engagement is so important with any tool that you get outside to bring into the club.
Let's get our crystal ball out now, Keith. Now let's kind of look forward 12 months, my friend, and see where we are. What are your thoughts in terms of, look, there's many trends swirling around this marketplace at the moment in time. 12 months on, what do you think is going to be trending, and what do you think is going to be perhaps fading away?
So I think a big one is wellness. I think the one thing that came out of COVID is that regardless of what you believe, we know the more healthy you are, the less likelihood you're going to get COVID. And if you do, you recover faster. So I think wellness is going to be a big part of the future. Continuing to have that healthcare and health club come together as an ultimate preventative care offering, if you will. I think utilizing the try before you buy it strategy to attract new members. One of the things that came out of the ABC study and URSA study, that women are 64% more likely to buy a membership if they can try it out first. That's incredible numbers. They're basically telling you, if you let us try it, we'll buy it. Bundling of memberships, hybrid and club, super important. Another big one, and this is not going anywhere. And I think, unfortunately, the fitness industry, as long as I've been doing this, we've been horrible about embracing technology and things like that. One of the things we've been really bad at is data, but there's so much data out there, and it's become very increasingly useful in our industry. We've got to get comfortable utilizing that data. What is the data telling us? Because I'll give you a great example of that. I've got people saying, well, video's not, it was just a flash in the pan. It's not going to be around. That's not what the data is telling us. The data is 180 degrees opposite of that. You're telling me what you want to have happen. That's not what our customers are saying, but data should be driving our decisions, true data. And seeing the digital fitness market expanding in the workplace, wellness, fitness facilities, and things like that, that's another big one, I think. And another one, I think the digital fitness is really no longer seen as competition. I've said this before to the brick and mortar facilities. It's just not. Wearable fitness devices and in-club fitness and digital fitness are all complementary pieces to the big puzzle. And it's really designed to help or to enhance the health and well-being of the individuals. And I mean, think about how many people are using Apple Watch or filling like whatever wearable, whoop strap, or whatever you're doing. All these things are positive for us. We need to embrace those.
I couldn't agree more, Keith. I think there's so much examples in front of our own eyes. Behind me in my own house just now, we've just got a brand new spin bike in. My wife's just subscribed to a digital fitness channel that provides spin classes. She's wearing 2 wearables now. I've got my new wearable ring on as well. There's examples all around of people being more health conscious. Before we leave, I want to make sure we grab some information on this, but a great partnership just announced between Intelivideo and ABC. Congratulations. It's very exciting for where I sit, but perhaps you can tell people more about it.
We're super excited about this relationship, Ross. As you probably already know, ABC is the largest club management system in North America. We're excited to be partnering with them and offering their clients really a turnkey digital platform that seamlessly integrates their existing ABC relationship. This partnership gives ABC customers really direct access to our strategic content development services and digital fitness expertise. It also allows them to bundle in-club and digital memberships, and it gives them the option of maintaining that consistent user sign-on experience to showcase a hybrid member behavior. So I personally, knowing ABC as well as I know them, this is going to be a fantastic partnership that really boosts the ABC customers to the next level.
Well, look, congratulations for getting that all set up and signed and sealed, Keith. Really has been a pleasure to see yourself and Adam and the team do so well, and the future is even more bright as we roll into this digital fitness and wellness age, and omni-channel is the word to chase down. Keith, thanks very much for your leadership for the past 30 years, and look forward to working with you going forward.
Thank you, Ross. I appreciate the time.